Hello and a warm welcome to everybody to this edition of the German-Italian Dialogues. Today we will talk again in English, as we will have speakers from Germany and from Italy, and we want to address our German, Italian and the European public in equal measure. The topic that we want to discuss today is of importance not only for the German-Italian relationship, but for Europe as a whole. We will talk about trade relationship, and the German-Italian ones are giving an important contribution to EU's economy. We have invited the representatives of the German-Italian Chambers of Commerce in Frankfurt am Main and Milan. Narducci, Italian, is head of the ITKAM in Frankfurt, and Jörg, German, is head of the AHK in Milan. A warm welcome.
Hello, warm welcome to Jörg, and Narducci. Thank you for your time today. I'm very glad that we have the opportunity to talk, though really your agendas are very, very busy and full these days, especially, though we cannot do all our encounters in person, but I think all these online meetings are very challenging. Before we want to address the topic that we want to discuss today, the German-Italian trade relations, I want to quickly introduce and present your institutions. ITKAM is a self-financing registered association of companies for companies to promote economic relations and business cooperation between Germany and Italy. ITKAM was founded already in 1911 and is since 1970 recognized by the Italian state as a chamber of commerce abroad. The headquarters are in Frankfurt. The AHK also looks back on a long history and tradition. It was founded in 1921, has its headquarters in Milan, and promotes the economic relations between Germany and Italy on behalf of the Federal Ministry of Economy and Energy. So the two chambers are therefore set up a little bit differently in the structure and statutes, but are nevertheless committed to the same goal: the promotion, establishment and development of bilateral business relations, with the European and international perspective always playing a role. And we might say the chambers did a good job, because indeed the German-Italian trade relations can be named as a success story. The volume of trade between Germany and Italy are always developed positively over the years, reaching a total of 127 billion euros in 2019. Actually, Germany is Italy's most important trading partner. In 2019, Germany accounted for 16.3% of Italian exports and over 12% of Italian imports, and likewise, Italy's Germany's fifth most important trading partner. In 2019, we had imports from Italy amounting to 57 billion euros. I don't want to annoy our public with too many numbers. Just the point I wanted to make is that this very positive balance, which these numbers do show, will probably change on the impact of the corona pandemic and its far-reaching consequences. But looking back right now to the German-Italian trade relations over the past years, which economic sectors have developed particularly positively in the recent years? Which are the deficits, and where the potential that now can maybe help even to overcome the crisis? So maybe yes, Eli can maybe first start with this look on Germany, and Jörg can then even show about the situation in Italy, and we are very curious about your prospects.
Thanks a lot. First of all, good evening, and again, thanks a lot for the organization of this dialogue. I think it's very important, even in this period of time, to keep the relationship between Italy and Germany up and running, and it's also a period of time where we do actually have the time of analyzing, look a bit into the relationship, how it has been developed, and what can be done to improve it. And as you said in the introduction, both me and Herr Buch are representative of a situation which was very prosperous in the last years. The economic relationship between Italy and Germany were improving significantly year over the year, we have reached these results due to the important industrial relationships and synergies that the Italian and German companies have had in the past. And certainly we look at certain sectors that were really crucial on this. The automotive sector, for example, by Germany being the final producer of vehicles and Italy supplying a lot to Germany. We look at the pharma and chemical industry. We look at the machine building industry, and certainly there are, I mean, the most interesting part about the relationship between Italy and Germany, I think it's the fact that on every single sector there are economic relationships. Certain sectors are more important, other sectors are less important. Nonetheless, is the food industry very important? We have seen in the last few years that even for Italy, that is a country known for the quality of the food products, where Italy buys a lot of semi-finished products from Germany, and then it finishes the products in Italy. So it's very vibrant, and I think it will be also in the future. Now there is the situation related to the pandemic. There has been a stop. We have seen, especially during the lockdown period, how crucial was Italy for the industrial production of Germany. Certain companies could not produce because the Italian companies could not supply to the German companies. So I personally think this is only a pause, and it will again reach the levels of the past, but we have to work for it now. I mean, maybe we can develop on this in the next question, but this relationship still needs to be supported, and the way for the future has to be discussed.
Thank you very much, Elio. I want to address right now the question to Jörg Book. Jörg, because your organization, the IHK, did even a survey coming right now to this pandemic situation that we have on the outlook, what Italian companies do expect, what is right now their situation and their expectations, whether they can recover and in which way. Maybe you can just quickly deline this survey that you did, and what is your relation right now, or what do you get from the talks that you do with companies? What are their perspectives right now for this moment and the future?
Buongiorno. I think we did a survey, but in those very fast and quick times, we did it in June, July. So this is already it's already old data. But what we know from this survey and from our contacts to the companies, as my colleague stressed, we are both industrial nations. We are closely linked. But important to underline that both nations, both economies are export nations. So we are living from free trade. So besides the coronavirus, which has affected Italy, Germany, whole Europe, the whole world as a pandemic crisis, what we are suffering now most or more is as well the not existing demand on the market. What we are suffering now as export nations are the restrictions on travel, because we need to meet in order to do business. We need to meet in order to find a business partner in our respective countries or the other hosting country. So there are no more greater expositions and shows where our good industrial companies on the machinery side, on the automotive side, can expose their products. So that's a very, very important and very challenging problem in those times. The uncertainty is the new normal. So and we need to deal with this. This is a very, very difficult approach in those times. But important for us, as I said, as we are both export nations, I think both governments. First of all, Italy government did a very well job to manage this crisis in a very early stage, going back to the Corona crisis, the crisis management, where Germany learned from. We need to remember that Italy was always at least 4 weeks ahead in this crisis. So all the other governments in Europe, a lot of crisis management. But now it's a time, even starting now in the second, third, and next waves, to have a look at the recovery. So how partner up in future topics, and where we can use our existence, so of our strong partnership, reliable partnership between Germany and Italy, to bring Europe forward. So I would like to focus on this, and coming back to your introduction, the positive balance which we saw over the last year showed that the performance of the suppliers from Italy, the performance of a new growing kind of Italian Mittelstand, so gaining bigger Italian companies, the performance was good because the trading deficit, we have been able to lower it. So the trading deficit between Italy and Germany. So this is a good sign for the performance, for the competitiveness of both, but as well from Italian companies. So this is a good sign, a good base, a good positive balance to look ahead and to tackle all these challenges and difficulties which we are seeing now. And as I said, we are very comparable nations. We are very comparable on the economic side, and this is an excellent base to tackle and to the upcoming challenges and these future topics, Jay.
Thank you very much, because it's very important, I think, as you stressed, that both of our countries are yes, industrial countries which are very strong. I don't have exact number, but I think Italy itself is the second important industrial country in Europe, and the fifth grade in the world. So we really have this partnership. It's a very, very strong partnership, and one can help and support the other as well. We touched the problem of the recovery and the recovery fund. Of course, right now in this very period, this helping program is discussed and very controversially discussed, because we don't have yet any clear indications on how the money can really arrive to the companies. I think that will be a very challenging topic right now until the end of the German presidency of the EU, and maybe even longer than that. I would like to ask right now, even this successful cooperation, even on the political level, you mentioned that too. Italy was very much ahead in designing and developing a strategy out of the crisis. Italy is really even a very important partner. It became more and more important, even seeing right now that we have the Brexit. Italy is really back to this being a column of the European partnership and constitution. So what is right now your expectations working, Elio, you, for example, even like with your Italian background, what do you expect from your government right now? Because all of us, we have to face the homework that we have to do in our own countries, though we know that we don't come out of this crisis in national perspectives. What is right now your perspective, your expectations to that?
Well, first of all, I would like to start by saying that the chambers of commerce usually do not touch on political topics because it's not really our goal, but certainly we do live in close relationship with the decisions of the governments. In our case, the German and the Italian government, and I'm following very closely what the decisions are, and also what the expectations could be. And here I would like to talk about one of the things that we have developed as Chamber of Commerce in the last years. We have opened 5 years ago a department which deals with European projects. And we did that because we have noticed that more and more the companies are in relationships not only on the Italian and German level, but on a broader scale, certainly European, but then the globalization has brought us everywhere. So, and this department worked really well because we were able to put people together from different regions, develop projects, develop certain, also some curricular activities or curriculum fund expertise. And we find ourselves at the end of 2020 where the previous European organization and projects have been finished, and we are facing a moment where the budget is over, and now we are waiting for all of the new budget to come and the new decisions in order to start with new projects and so on and so forth. Yesterday, the Italian government has talked about the use of European funds which are going to come. They excluded the use of the MES, so in order to deal with the crisis, and use only other kinds of sourcing of fund. You know, when we deal with companies, what is really important is not the big amount of money that is available, but actually what are the projects that are on the table for the company to actually achieve their goals and do their work. What I do not see currently in Italy is the list of projects. And for me, it's then very complicated to tell you a lot more about this topic, because if I do not see what the investment goals are, then it becomes also for me very difficult to plan. And on this real topic, I would really like to know what Herr about the German government, because I mean this is now the core discussion, I guess.
Jörg, it's your turn, because Germany right now could maybe push forward to come to a new deal and to foster this development of the projects that in the end really concrete help can be done.
I think we are before an enormous, or what we're seeing is an enormous chance for Europe, for the reconstruction of Europe. And therefore we are pointing very much our German-Italian industrial partnership. We have a good example, the Piano 4.0, so the Industrie Platform 4.0, a very close cooperation on Industry 4.0 over the last years, one of the former governments, which pushed our relationship forward, which is one good reason why our trading relation as well developed so good, why the productivity, especially in Italy, but as well in Germany, gained so much, because we pushed our small and medium-sized companies versus the digitalization with a lot of help programs. And the good thing on this story was that a government pushes versus an industrial policy, and this was a good story. So we have an historic chance to have now in a European framework having the Green Deal. So all money, recovery money, is oriented towards a direction, towards new topics, towards future topics. So we will be obliged for a major change in our companies, organization, culture, etc., but as well on the technology side. So what I think I would call this green revolution, which we have, which we are in, and which we need to tackle, as well as economy. And this is our role as German-Italian Chamber in this partnership, to transform this in speed and in change. Because in my point of view, these are change imperatives. So again, two enormous and big partners with already here experience and functional infrastructure should work together to bring, again, Europe to a new glance. And to name, speaking about green revolution, you need to name the Sustainable Development Goals. So sustainability with ecological, with social responsible development. This is the change imperative for all companies, and this we need to bring to the ground to make it happen. This is our major concern all over Europe. Seeing these huge numbers of money, 190 and more billion euros on recovery funds. Our concern is on the executional side. So we not only need the plan, we not only need the concepts, we need the concepts to be done. So and therefore we need as well to do some advocacy on this. Last thing, because we have as well somewhat, as I said, we are export nations. Another opportunity. So we have this green revolution topics. In my point of view, this change imperatives, hydrogen, digital or artificial intelligence, and SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. But what we see, as I said, there's no demand, but on the market, or difficultly we can discover demand on the market. But what we experienced in Europe, in the world, is as well some how can I express it diplomatically? Some challenges in the supply chain. So what we are seeing, what we're expecting, is as well a kind of rinascimento, a kind of recovery of Europe as well on the supply chain. So the reshoring, nearshoring is an important topic. Though the opportunity for the suppliers here in Europe, here in the market, to gain new or old markets within Europe, because what we know is that the bigger OEMs, the companies are do some re-evaluation on existing supply chains worldwide, in order to avoid in the future interruptions which we saw, which brought some difficulties in the production side, but as well to because of this topic on sustainability. So to reorganize as well supply chain because of this topic. And this is a chance for Europe again, and this is a chance for Italian suppliers and vice versa. But Europe, name what country ever, the small and medium-sized companies need as well to do their homework. So need on this change topics, need on productivity, and productivity have to do with innovation, and innovation have to do with research and development. And on these topics, we really need to elaborate. But it's, again, it's enormous chance. We have the money, we have the funds, we have a framework, a topic framework. Though I think Europe could have a bright future on this.
Maybe you want to respond directly to this, because you mentioned, okay, politics. As you said, it's not that Chambers of Commerce in the first place have to discuss politics, but politics and economy is so much closely linked that we cannot avoid to address this topic. I like very much the point Jörg made about the implementation, because this is touching this crucial aspect of the homework, which we discussed, for example, in this format too with Carlo Cattarelli, who formed the iconic of the 7 sins of Italian economy. But I want to stress too that even not only the Italian society and economy has these kind of sins, the German ones too. We have the problem in both countries how to this famous Investitionsstau. It's difficult to really have the projects and to implement them. Maybe there too, the two countries could try to figure out and to help each other much more. This is just a suggestion, an idea. Elio, as the last round in question, we wanted to discuss even what is precisely then the role of what do you think of the German, Italian Chambers of Commerce today and in the futures? I think it was a very interesting point that we discussed in our pre-discussion about this trade association approach that you, with your work, are following, Elio.
Yes, I think it is very important, as in every aspect of life, is to find the right balance for the future. So I'm expecting that our work will develop on both the online part and on the relationship part. But relationships are really important. And to close up the discussion, I guess that with these new challenges that we have, especially on the supply side, so trying to reshore, trying to onshore, and so on, I think that it is essential that we, as chambers of commerce, are going to work very closely with the associazioni di categoria, so the association of interests, and we will keep on developing this relationship, bridging also with the politics on regional level and on national level. Because at the end of the day, here we are facing strategical choices that have to be made. And I think the Chambers of Commerce are the only institution that can really bridge among all of these different points of interest. And this is exactly what we are going to do in the next year and on. We have already started. Right now, everything is based on online platforms, but I'm sure soon we will be able to meet again and start with new propositions and also new goals. I think that one of the main reflections that I had in this period of time was that we can talk about goals, we can talk about objects, we can talk about plans. At the end of the day, I think one of the big challenges that we are facing as chambers of commerce is the topic related to culture, because we do have same goals: Italy versus Germany, Germany versus Italy, Italy versus the world, and Germany. I mean, I think that the themes are correct, are very well identified, but the topic is that underlying all of these things, there is a difference in culture, there is a big difference in the approach to the problems, and also on the reaction on the problems. I mean, we have seen it at the beginning of this crisis, how Italy reacted towards Germany, how Germany responded to it, and at the end of the day, and we know this from our experience, our book, we are talking about the same problem, but we are using different words. And this doesn't help, because if I have, for example, a problem on the infrastructures, and we have it in Italy and we have it in Germany, and I can say we because I'm also German, so I can talk about both, well, then maybe it's better to discuss it on the same ground field and not fall into the usual story of, oh, the Italians are lazy and the Germans are very efficient, or other things. I mean, I think we have to work a lot on the cultural side, and we have to really go over the cultural boundaries in order to fix the problems by using the best of Italy and the best of Germany, and we do need each other. That is the real reflection that I had during this period of time. We are very good at doing a lot of things, but we do have specializations, and these specializations should emerge, and we should let these good practices fix the problems. I don't know your point of view on this.
I like this very much, this statement of yours. Because exactly that is what we are doing and discussing here in this German-Italian dialogues, to show where are the differences, where are the things that are in common and need to be explained, vice versa.
Look, next year we are celebrating 100 years of our chamber here in Milano. And our leitmotif is exactly this. Only together we come to excellence. So we are both excellences, and together in this part, we are believing very much in this approach, and we are doing both sides. This cultural translation. I always taught this to young students who learn languages and who are translators. to translate a language is important, but you need to have this capacity to have a cultural translation. I think in those times we saw this. It's important to rely on facts, on sustainability, on a sustainable partnership, and this is what we are doing. We gain so much together. We grow together and we live together. We suffer together. But we have a lot in common. This is where we are pointing through. Coming back to your questions, is there a bright future for the chambers? Yes, definitely. Is there a bright future for the chambers in digital and virtual world? Yes, definitely. Because what we're experiencing now in the Corona crisis is exactly this. Okay, we can manage this virtually, but we need to meet. We need the pancha. We need to meet each other. We need to smile. We need to discuss, and we need to experience the reactions, and we need some emotions. Psychology is a very important factor doing business, to meet each other. So we will this have in the future, maybe and for sure in a different way, maybe not so often, maybe more selected. This is where we're working on. This is what we are doing, and therefore, especially on the community side, I see really a very bright future. A community lives on emotions, lives on to meet each other and to have this very close and trustful exchange. I think trust is the topic which we need to manage. It's not easy. It's easy said, but to give our partners, friends, clients, customers, this confidence to doing business in the respective countries, and then therefore I am very, very confident and on our future. We need to work hard on it, but I think we are on a good way.
Yeah, thank you very much for this for this positive words and positive prospect, because I think this is even key of economy, of trade economies, that you have the capacity to invent the future. I think that is really a challenging time. This pandemic is particularly can be understood as an accelerator to many processes, the ones all that we discussed in our little talk today. I thank you very much for your time and for your inspiring perspectives and explanations. I wish to both of your chambers, good work, good luck, and see you very soon. And thank you once again for your time.